Top 10 Rumored Locations of Long-Lost Treasure. Treasure. There is a world of imagination in just that one word. It conjures up a hint of possibility and a whole lot of excitement. Treasure hunting is a popular activity around the world, especially in locations such as Oak Island, Nova Scotia, which is rumored to be the place one might find the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail, supposedly buried there by the Knights Templar. Numerous attempts have been made to locate these items, as well as pirate treasure and even Shakespearean manuscripts thought to also be hidden somewhere on the island. None of these attempts have yielded anything other than miscellaneous artifacts, but that hasn't dampened the excitement of what might lie just around another corner. 10. The Florentine Diamond. The stunning light yellow Florentine diamond was once part of the crown jewels of Austria and the pride of the Medici family. Its worth in modern times has been estimated to be around $20 million, even though it was once sold for a mere 2 francs by a soldier who took it off the lifeless body of Charles the Bold in 1477. The diamond has 9 sharply cut sides, originated in India, and is said to have been cut by Flemish jeweler Lodewijk van Berken. After the diamond was sold for glass by the aforementioned soldier, it passed through many hands before it ended up being displayed in Vienna as part of the Austrian crown jewels. 9. Jesse James Gold. Jesse James was not a nice guy. He and his brother Frank committed horrible acts against unarmed Union soldiers and participated in the Centralia massacre in 1864. When the Civil War ended, the brothers became common criminals, robbing stagecoaches, trains, and even banks across the Midwest. Jesse had a target on his back in the form of a reward for his capture, and one of his own gang members eventually took him out with a bullet, hoping to cash in on the reward. Despite all the awful things Jesse James did in life, he became somewhat of a heroic figure after his death, with many fans comparing him to Robin Hood. This was despite a complete lack of evidence that he ever shared his loot with the less fortunate. 8. São João Shipwreck. On June 8, 1552, the Portuguese ship São João was wrecked along the coastline of present-day Port St. John's in what is today known as the Eastern Cape Province of South Africa. The ship met its end near the mouth of the Umzimvubu River, and 100 of the 600 people on board drowned. The remaining 500, led by Manuel de Souza e Sepulveda, remained where they washed up for a couple of days before starting a grueling trek north, towards Mozambique. However, only 21 people, of which 14 were slaves, survived the journey to Delagoa Bay. 7. East River Treasure. The HMS Hazar, a 28-gun British warship, was on its way to Rhode Island via the East River in November 1780. On board, according to several whisperings, was gold to the value of at least $4 million. The Hussar sank in the tidal strait between Astoria and Dwarfs Island, also known as Hell Gate. Survivors of the incident later claimed that the treasure had been delivered to its intended destination before the ship sank. This did not deter the British government, which tried to find the wreck on 3 separate occasions without success. 6. Variagans valuable cargo. Russia might not be the first location that comes to mind when the topic of treasure hunting arises, but there are some valuable lost items in this country that treasure hunters wouldn't mind discovering. This includes the library of Ivan the Terrible, Napoleon's gold, which is believed to have been sunk in a lake in the western part of the Smolensk region, and Kolchak's gold, which today would be worth over $280 million. On October 7, 1906, cargo liner Variagans sank off the coast of Ushuri Bay in what is known today as the Primorye territory. It wasn't a big deal at the time, but the owner of the ship, Alexei Semyonovich Variagan, drew a lot of attention to himself and the incident when he asked the authorities to compensate him for a valuable cargo that had been lost. The amount he requested was 60,000 rubles. 5. The many lost treasures of Hawaii. Hawaii is a spectacular holiday destination, with the added bonus of a horde of buried treasure sites. According to several legends, that is, one of the most exciting rumors has it that the burial chamber of King Kamehameha, who died in 1819, contains warrior robes made from the feathers of now extinct birds, and heaps of valuable gems. Treasure hunters have yet to find this burial chamber, with some believing it might be hidden away in a rainforest cave. During the Battle of Kepaniwai in 1790, King Kamehameha's army murdered most of the Maui warriors and dumped their bodies at Iwal Stream, not far from Wailuku. Treasure enthusiasts believe that relics from this battle can still be found hidden in the area. 4. Nader Shah's loot. In 1739, Persian invader Nader Shah invaded Delhi with an army of 50,000 men. After massacring at least 30,000 people, his army looted the place and ended up with a treasure caravan 150 miles long. It is here that the story gets a bit murky. Some versions have it that Nader was murdered on his way back to Persia that same year, while others say he was murdered in 1747. Either way, the person who killed him is alleged to be Ahmad Shah, who made off with the bulk of Nader's stolen treasures. Before Ahmad's death, he apparently buried these treasures in the tunnels of the Hindu Kush Mountains. 3. The Kruger Millions. During the South African War, things started to look really bad for the Boers in South Africa. The president at the time, Paul Kruger, was forced into exile in Europe after South Africa's annexation to the British Empire, to avoid capture. Leaving Pretoria on May 29, 1900, he traveled by train to Macadodorp on 4th of June, after which he crossed the border to Mozambique and got on a ship to Europe. He died during exile in Geneva, Switzerland. What was discovered after he left is that Kruger allegedly hid away a cache of gold bars and coins to the value of $500 million in the Blue River area in what is today known as the Mpumalanga province. This rumor started in 1900 when British Governor, Lord Alfred Milner, revealed that gold had been taken from the South African Mint and National Bank. While Kruger was still in Macadodorp, a train was reportedly loaded to the brim with these bars and coins and sent on its way to Mozambique. However, it never arrived there, and between Macadodorp and the Mozambican border, the gold seemingly vanished into thin air. 2. The Jacobite Gold of Loch Arkaig. In Loch Haber, Scotland lies the beautiful Loch Arkaig. Unlike at Loch Ness, those who travel here don't keep a lookout for a fabled sea serpent. Instead, some try their hand at finding the lost Jacobite gold believed to still be hidden in the area. The Jacobite gold was a large number of gold coins sent along by Spain to finance the Jacobite rising in Scotland in 1745. Spain pledged to send at least 400,000 litres each month to sustain the rebel army, and the first lot was dispatched in 1745. It had hardly landed on the west coast of Scotland, however, when it was captured by Clan Mackay. In April the following year, a shipment of 1,200,000 livres was unloaded at Loch Nanem, Riceig. In total, 7 caskets of Spanish gold made it to Scotland, but by the time the last casket was offloaded, the Jacobite fight was over and their army scattered. 1. Stolen European treasures. Almost 76 years ago, an SS officer using the pseudonym Michaelis wrote constantly in a journal. His writings outline Nazi commander Heinrich Himmler's plans to hide stolen European treasures. The diary was kept away from the public and was in the possession of a Masonic lodge for decades after the war. In 2019, the lodge gifted the diary to a Polish foundation named Silesian Bridge. The foundation, in turn, confirmed that same year that they had received the journal as an apology for World War II. At the time, it was yet to be determined whether the journal was authentic, but a map included with it caused great excitement. The map indicated the location of a well on the Hochberg Palace grounds where the Nazis purportedly hid their stolen treasures. These include around 63,000 artworks and cultural artifacts stolen from Polish Jews.